Hey guys, it's Dave coming to you from the paddock here in Southern Maryland. I got my urban cowboy hat on. Thank you, Jim. I stole this idea from him because I liked this cowboy hat. I liked how he looked in it. I think he looks better than I do in it, but I got to transition from Wyoming cowboy hat to Maryland cowboy hat and then eventually something else. But I figure this is a good intermediate step. So it's Freedom Friday. I'm going to participate a little bit in it today. I'll do it right later. But anyway, today's been quite a day. The winter weather front actually got to Maryland overnight. And it's about 40 degrees and raining and kind of windy out there. So glad I got ahead of it. I know some of you think I'm nuts, but I drove 24 hours nonstop from Denver to Annapolis just to get and stay ahead of that stupid front, because that could have delayed me for a couple of days if they had gotten ahead of me. So anyway, 3 gas stops. Dogs did great. It was really cool. Hang on, let me show. Let's do some housekeeping. So guys, this is kind of always here in Maryland. I'm smoking my Maryland Meerschaum Churchwarden. I think I like this one better than the one I smoke in Wyoming, to be honest. I love the Churchwarden stem. I love that cool smoke. I enjoy this. I love that Wyoming Meerschaum because of how colored it is, so I can't give up on it. But I much prefer the Churchwarden. What am I smoking in it? Here's a bit of a surprise. I'm going with some Borken Riff. I know you guys have talked about it. I know it's a famous brand. I'd never really heard of it. But my buddy Walt sent me a couple of these. Borken Riff Original, and that's what's in the pipe today. And he also sent me some Borken Riff Black Cavendish. So try this next. So I like how the Borken Riff smells. It smells in the pouch, the original Borken Riff. When I open that pouch up, it smells like what my childhood memory of Half and Half is. I mean, like the 1960s Half and Half. This smells like my memory of that. I'm not saying it is. I'm saying my brain immediately when I smelled this made me think of the late 1960s, early 1970s when my dad smoked Half and Half every day. Thank you, Greg. I think your name should be God of Fire, not Giver of Light. God of Fire. I'm enjoying it. It's kind of a codger blend, right? I've not done much homework on it. I've been stuck in the car. Got a few things to tell you about today. But I'm pretty sure it's codger blend. I like it. I love how it smells. And it tastes is pretty simple. I think I'm going to like it. So today has been like a series of vehicle failures. So my big truck, my big F-250, that big black monster truck, I left that in Denver at my son's house, and I switched and I drove my 2018 Wyoming Ford Expedition. Drove it across the United States. Yeah, enough things going on that I needed to get, I need to get it worked on. So I gave to my guy at the shop that I go to all the time, Owings Automotive. I love him. Stacy's my man. Got a great crew. Does all my automotive work for me. But I need to get the studded tires put on, steel rims. I needed to get oil change done. The side steps don't present well anymore. I think it's just got salt and corrosion up in there. We got to get that addressed. One of the taillights had come loose and was flapping, and I don't know if I need to go with the old Gorilla Tape or can I get it replaced without costing me, $1,400 or whatever those stupid Ford taillight assemblies are costing these days. Started making a grinding sound, so I think maybe the brake pads have started to come lower. I got a bad wheel bearing. But anyway, they're going to tear it all apart and get that for me. But the point of the story is my F-250's gone because it stayed in Denver. And my Expedition's gone because it's in the shop for the next 4 or 5 days. So I got out my Jeep Trackhawk and drove it over to the next story I need to tell you to pick it up. And it died on me. Worked great, started great, spent on a trickle charger all summer. Drove it over about 5 miles away, picked my item up, got back in the truck, dead. I mean dead, like it didn't even have a battery in it. I don't mean like some of the lights flickered or it tried to start. Dead as a doornail. So had to make a call to wife. She came and picked me up, brought me back here. I walked up to Owings Automotive and Stacy, you got to come get my car. They've got several flatbeds. So he's gone and picked it up in the winter storm here and has driven it and is now back inside their shop trying to figure out what happened. I'm hoping it's just a tragic battery failure or maybe a quick short, but I have no idea what's wrong. Like I said, well, now my F-250's in Denver. My Expedition's in the shop. My Trackhawk's in the shop. I've got almost a brand new Chevy Suburban over here. Won't start. Wants to start, tries to start, but it's not getting any fuel. So I'm not sending 3 up to Stacy. I got to get those fixed. So that's done. So I had to get out the Hummer. So I'll take a picture of that. So I'm driving the Hummer today, the H1 military Hummer. So it's definitely going to be a road presence day out there. Perfect storm vehicle though. So here's the Hummer that I've got to drive. Listen to me. I got to drive my Hummer. Yeah, I had it restored. It's a 1991 original military Humvee. I bought it surplus, Army surplus, and I sent it to a buddy in South Carolina who did a full restore on it for me. Runs perfect. It's in great shape. This thing has road presence, man. Fully street legal. Driven it several times. Nobody gets out of the way of a vehicle quicker than this thing coming down the road at them. Okay, here's the part of the story. This is the part of the video that's Freedom Friday. If you guys, some of my OGs remember 1 year ago, I had a buddy, he's head of the Masonic Lodge in Prince George's County, Maryland. He said, Dave, I'm having trouble selling raffle tickets for our annual raffle. Can you do mind buying some? So I picked up like 4 or 5 tickets from him. And he called me last year when I was in Wyoming, in November, and said, hey, you won the grand prize, and, congrats. And it's sitting at the FFL. You should go pick it up. And in fact, let me show it to you. And I got this 20 gauge pump. I love it. It's not quite a junior model, but it's a 20 gauge pump. I love this thing, and it is my primary defense weapon here at the paddock. Well, Ed, my buddy, called and said again this year, right as I was leaving for the Wyoming trip, said, hey, I'm selling raffle tickets again. Do you mind doing what you did last year? I said, nope, give me 4 or 5 of them, whatever, I'll pay you. Leave the money with Anne-Marie. He left the tickets. So he called me 2 weeks ago and said, you're not going to believe it. You won the grand prize again. You got to be kidding me. This is going to start looking like a setup. The president of Masonic Masons sells his buddy a ticket and he wins the grand prize, and then the president sells his buddy some more tickets the next year and he wins the grand prize again. Well, what is it? It's a tri-star over and under 12 gauge shotgun. I really haven't even opened the box yet. I don't have time. I've been worrying about cars all day, getting my car act together. But I did what I was driving over when the Trackhawk. I was driving the Trackhawk when I picked the shotgun up. And I'll come back to you in a minute. So I had to jump off there. Sorry about that. Call was coming in. It was from my buddy, my mechanic, saying the Trackhawk is fixed. They were able to put it on the piggyback and get over here. They pulled the battery. Tragic, just a catastrophic battery failure. I can't even complain. The battery's 7 years old, so I can't complain about it. I probably gave it a couple of extra years of life by trickle charging it whenever I'm not driving it. But anyway, it's fixed. Drove it back down here. So put the Hummer away, and now I get to drive my Trackhawk. So since I'm talking about it, I'm going to shut up and just show you what the Trackhawk looks like. It's basically a Jeep Grand Cherokee It's got a 700 horsepower engine in it. It's one of the Hellcat engines. I bought one of the originals when they first came out, and I absolutely love it. But anyway, here, let's take a look real quick, and then we'll come back. So this is my Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. The Trackhawk part means it's got 707 horsepower. It's got one of the Hellcat engines in there. You can see it's supercharged. Anyway, it's black. It's beautiful. I love this thing. It's a big, it looks like a regular old Jeep Grand Cherokee, but 700 horsepower, all-wheel drive. It's one of my favorites. I own a lot of crazy vehicles, but this is a fun one. It's got the demon red leather interior. It's beautiful in here. Truly one of my favorite vehicles. All fixed, back from the shop. All right, here's a crappy video of my Tesla Model S. I got it plugged in. I've got a nice little Tesla charger right here. Got one in the paddock and one here at the house. So there we go. I said it was the plaid version. There you go, plaid. In the inside, as you can see, it's got a steering yoke, not a steering wheel. Thank you, Elon, appreciate that. Anyway, it's a wonderful car if it's used the way it was meant to be used.